As always, good day everyone. So today I have this 125cc motorcycle. I'm going to replace this rear shock on here. Now this is a new one in here, but unfortunately I got the wrong size. I don't know, whatever, however, but anyways, it's not the right size. So we're going to take that out, and one of the telltale signs that it's too long, this one's too long, is if you come over, we're just going to look here. So here's the chain guard, and you can see the angle, and plus if you look how the chain comes around the swing arm, there's quite a bit of an angle, so it comes down like this, whoop, and then goes down. And that's just way too much of an angle. That's not good for it. It's going to put a whole bunch of stress on everything. So I have another shock, and I'm going to show you how to take this off and put it back on. But I'll get this off first. I'll show you it's very easy. And then I'll show you the old shock, the new one that I'm going to put in here to replace the new one, and just show you the difference. And we're going to talk about the lengths, which are very common for these little bikes here. So it's just, again, it's like a generic pit bike, mini bike, whatever you want to call it. So let me get the camera set up. We'll whip a couple of bolts out, pull this thing out. Oh, and the most important thing, make sure the back tire is slightly off the ground. Even if it's on the ground a little bit, but you want to get it up on a stand, something. I put the bucket here, a little extra stability just for going sideways. So yeah, let me get set up and I'll show you how to do this and make sure that everything's looking proper. Oh, and I have another pointer about how this is set up here. I looked on my XT. So the shaft that goes into the piston on the XT, it's reversed. So, and it makes sense to me. I knew it when I was doing this too. I was like, why would they have the shaft going in at the top where all the dirt can come in here? This one even has a lip. All the dirt and water would just sit right in there and mess everything up. So we're gonna put the new one on, well, the new one on in reverse. I absolutely don't see any reason why I can't do that. The only issue might be some sort of a clearance issue here, but we're gonna find out. Okay, let me get set up. Okay, so let's get at her. Basically, the nut on the bottom here, it's a 14 mil, and the other side is a 12. So you're gonna have to hold the other side while you undo the bolt here. Otherwise, it just might spin. So let's get this one out. We'll get the bottom out first. Get the top out. You just have to knock these bolts out. Jeez, man, I can't find my proper pliers. Anyways, pull this guy out. There we go. So that's all there is to it. But so let me get these lined up and we're going to talk about the shocks a little bit. Okay, so at first glance, yeah, there's some notable differences. First of all, the spring size. This one looks a little bit heavier actually than the new one. Looks a little bit heavier than the new old one. And definitely much different than the original one. Now the original one was mounted with the shaft going into the piston. This would be at the top. So for this one, we're going to mount it upside down. So the shaft goes into the piston at the bottom. And that's to prevent... To me, I don't see any reason why I can't, and maybe it's someone smarter, but we'll just make sure that there's nice clearance up here. As long as it mounts up, everything will be fine. But you can see This one is quite a bit longer. The old new one is quite a bit longer than this one. It might not look like it, but small changes make a big difference. And so I did measure these. This original one, I believe it's going to be all in millimeters because that's how they're usually advertised. Now, I measured this and I believe I'm pretty close. I think this is a 250 millimeter, the original. The new one is 260, and somehow I managed to get a 280 put into it. Way too big for the bike. And so hopefully this 260, it's 10 millimeters more. But I think with my weight, because like I'm heavier, I'm not like a little kid. If you're putting this on for maybe a little kid, you might want to go back to the 250, but I think the 260 should be okay, and I think the alignments should be much better than this. Hopefully we're going to be on track and this is going to work out fine. Okay, so let me get set up and we'll get the new shock in again with the piston at the bottom, or the rod going into the piston at the bottom, and go from there. I'm not going to worry about the adjustment on here. I think this thing's heavy duty enough. This is going to be fine for me. So yeah. But if you find that it's really too soft, you can spin these things and bring it down, and it tightens up the spring, just so you know. But I'm not probably going to do that. And you don't need a fancy tool to do this. Just get a screwdriver and a hammer. And figure out which way you're going to turn it. And just put your screwdriver there. Hit it with the hammer and start spinning it. Just keep going. It works. I mean, I might put a few little dents in the nice, you know, finish here, but yeah, it's not a $1 million motorcycle. So, okay, let me get set up. We'll put this shock in. Okay, so I've kind of just dry fitted the shock in. Now there's this cylinder here for your rear brakes, and what I noticed is that the new shock is a little bit wider. And it looks like it's going to contact just the edge of this. So what I'm going to do is take this bolt out, take this nut off, or take the bolt out, and I'm going to put some washers on the other side. So I move this out away from the spring, and hopefully that should do it. So I'll probably put like 4 or 5 washers, whatever I can fit in there, just to get this out of the path of the spring. So that's something to check for. Otherwise the spring will come down and mess that thing up. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's loosen these 2 bolts here. You have to loosen both of them, because in order for this to come out, I mean, you have to loosen the bottom. So the bottom one you don't have to take right out, but you need to loosen it up really good. For some reason, there's no nut on this bottom one. It has some threads right in the frame. The top one, though, it has a nut. So we're gonna have to take. Oh, we're gonna need some. Pliers again. Use a socket on there if you need, but it's not so tight that you're gonna damage the bolt, or nut I should say. So we'll just get them out. There. Just set these up here. So I found a set of washers here. There's just like, I don't know, 4 there maybe. So we're going to put those in between. Alright, I have my washers in. Let's see if I still have enough thread. Oh yeah, plenty. Alright, let's just try this. I think it's going to be good. I really do. think we're going to be fine with that. We'll give it a try. All right, I'm going to go ahead, get this nut on, and need to put a little bit of Loctite on these things. Otherwise, they're going to fall off. So I'm just using this blue stuff. Get some on both sides. There we go, and then we'll get this put together. Yeah, I need to find a nut for this, but I can do that later. Okay, folks, we're on the home stretch here. Now, I don't recommend products, but I've been using this quite often for brakes and stuff. It's basically a silicone ceramic lube. Works really good, so I've been using this on everything. Is it Ease Slide or Easy Slide? I don't know, but anyways, on the bolts here, you might want to put just a dab on there, just in the center part.
That's good. Yeah, let's get this thing put in place here.
Put the top in first. It's probably easiest. There. Get our bottom bolt in. And here you're going to have to lift up, well, you may have to lift up the tire a bit. Get this lined up. There we go. So remember how the chain used to come here and then it really went down over the top of the arm. So that problem looks resolved, and once there's some weight on the bike, this is going to be nice and level with the chain. It's going to look awesome. I think this is going to work. So let me get the nuts in. And for tightening these, I mean, you do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I do. But you want to tighten them up pretty good. Don't get crazy. But at the same time, they should be tight enough so the shock does not move left or right. Because you have bushings in there, and basically the mount on the shock compress into the bushing that goes through the bottom and top of the shock, holds everything in place. So like, I'm pretty familiar with my wrench here, so I know how tight this is going to be. You don't want to go over tight, and you certainly don't want to be too loose. But do it by hand. Just tighten it up good. There we go. Okay, let me get some stuff out of the way. And I'll sit on the bike and we'll find out how she's working. Okay, and I just checked the chain. It seems pretty good, so I'm not going to do anything with that. If you guys are interested, I can do a video on adjusting the chains, but adjusting the chain, but this video is already long enough. So anyways, I'm gonna sit on the bike just so you can see. I think it's gonna be nice. Hopefully it's in camera or in view. Yeah. Feels good, folks. Before, if I jumped on the bike, the back tire would actually come off the ground, and it's not anymore. Not that I can see. So yeah, problem's all solved. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, put some comments down below. I mean, I'm not super duper expert on all this stuff, but I think I made the right decisions here and everything's looking good. So anyway, take care everyone. Bye bye.